I'm quickly running out of people in my in-person life who I can grab by the back of the neck and walk around my house showing all my arts and crafts to. And so now I'm turning to the internet.
Greetings, girl, and welcome to my world of phrasing right up to bat. It's the daisy age and you're about to walk top stage, so wipe your lottos on the mat. Hip-hop love this is, and don't mind when I quiz your involvements before the sun. But clear your court, cause this a one-man sport, and who's better for this than plugged one? Don't have to worry about me squashing other deals, cause they've already been squished. Freeze the frame of our moves the same, wish we can continue right behind the bush. You'll stay with me, I know this, but not because of all my earthly treasures of regardless to the fact.
This is a 70-year-old, very, very mid-century modern style house that we bought about a year ago. And we bought it in like pretty much its original state, which means that we had a lot of work to do on the renovation-y side to make sure that it was safe and all, but also it was a total blank canvas in terms of decor. I want to tell you about all the stuff that I made for this house, creating and choosing items that are harmonious with this very distinctive character that it has. And hopefully in this video, it'll come through this big lesson that I've learned this year about really embracing the art of DIY. Whether it's decor or renovations, large or small scale, there's really something to be said for doing things yourself without consulting people and repelling all advice, because you will love anything that you make, even if it's really, really far from perfect. At least that's been the case for me. This past year, I've seen how much this mentality has served me well. I have patched up our entire leaky roof myself. I planted 20,000 square feet of grass in the backyard. We painted the entire house, including the ceilings, took off all of these rocks here and re-leveled the sand underneath and put them back, pressure washed the entire house and exterior, tiled this floor inside and the bathroom, outside. Jaime redid a bunch of plumbing. We redid this whole kitchen ourselves, including making the countertops from scratch, installing new appliances, hacking up the walls exactly the way we wanted. We restored this whole ass swampy pool ourselves.
Oh my god, oh my god.
What is it?
Oh my god, it's a skeleton.
Yeah, what's up? 2 and woo!
Yes, pero.
I want to focus mostly on things that I've made, various forms of functional art that feel like I caught lightning in a bottle. There are a few things that we just went out and bought, and I want to talk about those because we gave each of them a lot of thought and I'm excited about how they work in the space. So let's get to it. This is a lift top table. I didn't make this table, that would be crazy, but I did coat it in resin. It used to be an ugly brown laminate. Actually, it used to be this. I wanted the space to have a really nice pop, and I also wanted it to reference the pool that's right outside. I don't have much good behind the scenes footage because my mom and I were making it last February when the house roof was leaking and like we didn't have functioning plumbing, but like I just really wanted to make this table pop. So it kind of was made during a period of chaos. Basically just took off these 2 slabs and painted it in white first and then poured colored epoxy over it and waited for it to cure. And then on the edges, I painted it with a matching color and then gave it a paint of epoxy as well. I also like to use these pieces of cork that are actually samples for our basement flooring. They work really well as coasters and they prevent the table from getting too scratched. My fixation with teal colored epoxy is 3 years running now. It started with when I took over our entire apartment making 200 wedding invitations with this wave pattern, and then these chopping boards soon followed. The way that you get this pattern is by mixing in this white pigment with your epoxy, which is a little bit thicker than clear epoxy. And so then when you go at it with a hair dryer, it creates this really cool lacing effect that looks like foam in water. I think there's anything else to be said about this. Thank you. This lamp is my favorite. Look at it and I ask you, where is the light coming from? Where is the electricity coming from? How is it suspended in midair? I got the idea for this from a lamp that I saw that was being sold online for $12,000, which is like just $5 above budget. So I just went out and thrifted this shade and I hung it from the ceiling with nylon thread. And I use this table here to host a spotlight that shines light up into the lampshade. And it just has a very specific angle at which it throws light so that it's caught only in the shade and it doesn't just spread everywhere. I made these different colored coasters using resin, and you can place them on top of the light in order to change the color. And you can also place them like over one another, and it creates this cool like splotched colored design. Yeah, you're just like manually changing the color of the lampshade.
May I cut this dance to introduce myself as the chosen one to speak. Let me lay my hand across yours and aim a kiss upon your cheek.
Let's talk about another lamp. This is my little bread. Oh, it's not showing well. One sec. So this is a piece of bread that's just its reflection. They're not two. This is a piece of bread that I scooped out the insides of and then dipped in epoxy resin and then added some. You can see how, oh my goodness, it's so gross. It's been tattered awfully. A little bit of it chipped off as well. Put an LED strip in there and then covered it up shoddily with cardboard. And it serves as a really trusty lamp. It doesn't get moldy at all. I think the epoxy has done a really good job of keeping any moisture out. And I've had dreams actually of making a croissant version of this for a while. But yeah, I love this so much. It has a very beloved spot on my bookshelf.
Your choice, may it be filled with a pleasure principle in circumference to my voice. About those other Jennies I reckoned with, lost them all like a homework excuse. This time the magic number is 2, cause it takes 2, not 3 to seduce. My destiny of love is brought to an apex. Sex is a mere molecule in this world of lust that I have for you. It's true.
We're just gonna stay in Lampville for a little bit longer. This is actually a kite. It's a functional kite, but I have it hung over here just with another clear nylon string. In order to illuminate it, there's a black light installed down there that's pointing straight up at the boat. And what I love so much about this is that this corner that is otherwise like pretty stuffy with this wood that has a lot of knots. I really love how this boat that kind of looks moonlit with the blue light coming at it, it just kind of like cuts that, and it feels so fresh and like modern and unexpected in this space. And the other lamp here is this Pixar Lego lamp. Jaime actually bought a little LED and retrofitted it from the inside so that it serves as an actual lamp. And then the final thing I want to mention in this little vignette is this convex mirror that works so well specifically for this space. When I'm sitting there on the sofa, I can use this mirror to spy on whatever is happening in the dining room, which is just like insane because it's like a wall that's blocking it, but I can see if the dog is standing by the door over there asking to be let out. It just opens up the space so much, and every time I look at it, it's painting such a beautiful picture of the house, no matter how I look. Oh, I love this. Oh, yes. Okay, see, sometimes I get 2 boats out of it.
But because
I love you better.
Just a mirror. Look. Come look at it. Kelly, don't be afraid. So this next thing is also not a DIY. It's just some furnishings that I got that I think work really well in this space. This is the entrance to the house. And when you walk in, you have this hallway that's kind of narrow and tight, similar to where the boat lamp is. It can feel a little bit messy with how much cedar there is and how many knots there are. The temptation is to just not put anything here so that the space will breathe. But of course you want the entryway to be functional. Ended up choosing very, very lightweight, clear furniture. This is like an acrylic table. These are little acrylic shelves that can hold 4 pairs of shoes. And then I also have these frames with a little bit of art. These are these cool frames that are like installed like this, and they're just glass and your picture ends up suspended in them. But I went and even painted them brown so that they're even more low profile. The next project I wanted to talk about is my first foray into upholstery. The quality of the craftsmanship really does give it away as my first attempt at it. Fell in love with the striped fabric with like tufts of velvet where the lines are. I had this idea to have this piping and the switch in pattern for when the planes of the ottoman change. And it's like so bad. Like, I mean, I'm gonna show you footage of like all the imperfections. Every now and then I have to go in and like renovate it because it's opening at the seams because I did such a bad job. but truly every day I look at this and it makes me so happy that it customized it with like the exact colors that I wanted. It's really nice to have a big blob of furniture that's just a reminder that, you know, you can just do whatever the hell you want. Let me show you a little bit of the underside. I didn't have enough fabric here to come all the way down and then be able to pull it and staple it. So I stitched a little section of my velvet graduation gown and then pulled it down. It has stories and it has character. And it matches my dog perfectly. Al-Shafa? This fabric, which I have draped over in a few different spots in the house, is called a shuka. It's a Kenyan fabric. It's dyed with this like retina destroying pigment that is so bright, but it never ever fades in the wash or in the sun. It's so durable. Actually, like recently we've been thinking that at some point we're going to have to replace our roof, and I think we should just redo it with shukas because they're so indestructible. I also made a bed for Maeve with the same fabric, so sometimes if like all the seats are gonna get occupied, I'll bring out her bed. Although, has this dog ever sat on the floor when there are humans available to curl up around?
I know I love you better.
Faster! I'm running out of light. I don't know what to do when the sun sets at 11 a.m. This is a wall of thrifted frames that's basically just all black and white and in a lot of cases line drawings. I was really sick of this lamp because it's just one of these like basic West Elm things I've been lugging around. I just hate these items that are just like random quirky shapes for no reason. But then I had the idea to place it here in front of this drawing that I made. This shape is a Rhombicuboctahedreon. Jaime and I, when we met, had gotten totally fixated with it. I remember one day we made a Rhombicuboctahedreon out of cream cheese and tortilla chips, and I had the idea to place it here with this frame in the background. Suddenly it like recontextualized it and it gave it new life, and now it makes me happy to look at. Other things on this wall, this line drawing of our wedding venue made by a dear friend. This is the original drawing of our house, which I think passed along through the various owners and made its way to us. This is the front page of a magazine from Berkeley from the 60s during the free speech movement. There's a picture here of this activist named Mario Savio standing on top of a car barefoot delivering a speech. A decade ago, I was an orientation leader as an undergrad at Berkeley, and at these like 20 consecutive orientation sessions, I heard us play the speech by him so many times that it's just like ingrained in my memory forever. I can't remember my own phone number, but this speech comes so naturally to me. There comes a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part, you can't even passively take part, and you've got to put your body upon the gears, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to indicate to the people who own it, to the people who run it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all. This is a page from an Indian Kenyan magazine. It's like a mix of Swahili and Gujarati. I'm currently illiterate in Gujarati. It wasn't always the case. I could read it when I was young, but I didn't use it, so I lost it. But I'm working to remedy that this year. So I can't tell you what this says, but the graphic design is pretty. Okay, and now let's talk about the penultimate lamp of this video. This is one of those like block wall type things, and you can find a lot of like way more elaborately made versions that involve like actually using adhesive or like crafting some wood casing for it. But I'm here to show you that you can do much more of a hack job and still have it look decent and have it work functionally as a lamp. I bought these when Joanne Fabrics was going out of business, and they were so cheap. I think the store practically paid me to get rid of them. All this is these blocks placed side by side. Let's look at this, okay? Let's see, will I ruin it if I lift it? No, oh my God, awesome. Okay, yeah, it's just an LED strip stuck to a piece of wood and placed on top, and that's it. And then I have here my little reading giraffe. This giraffe reads, which is more than can be said for me, but it only seems to read picture books with bad pictures of other giraffes. Interesting. For shame. These like really large mirrors that I have installed here, these are just a form of greediness because I wanted even more greenery from the outside to be reflecting on this wall. Honestly, the hand of God was guiding me while installing these because I didn't measure anything. I used my forearm to roughly space these things out, hacked some nails in and put them up, and look at how freaking straight this is. It's a lesson to never ever measure anything. I made this frame. I wanted something really big to fill up this space so that like this wall over here is reflecting the outside and then there's something interesting here. And I wanted a really huge canvas, but canvases of this size go for like $700, which I don't have. And so I, using my same forearm measuring technique, made this canvas using a bunch of 2x4s and nails, and then just got a big sheet of canvas material and stapled it to the wood at the end. I mean, there are some flaws with this. It's a rhombus, it's not quite a rectangle, but who cares? For the next 5 years or so, as we decide what we want to paint over here, I just have a fake fern in this beautiful glass oil bottle that I have here on a small shelf, and I can switch that out from time to time. And one more detail, this over here is just a very, very light, cheap foam molding. It's just like stuck with tape to the sides, and it makes it look way more finished. And also coming down is a black light over there, just to sort of match the boat over there. But I want to show you one last thing, which is this fireplace. It's no longer up to code because it's not deep enough. An excellent use of it is as a dining table for the dogs. Before she eats, she knows that it's necessary to set the table. Go ahead and set the table. Thank you, my baby. You can see here that I have painted it appropriately so that it feels like a dining table for her.
Could you do me a favor, girlie? Could you please set the table? Thank you, my sweetie.
Final thing I wanted to show you, and I know you're like, why are you showing me this ugly painting? The thing is though, it's not a painting. It's just a frame. I mean, I did bedazzle it and I painted the internal matting red, but it's just a frame with this like hanging wall planter that you can take off. I put a little Ikebana frog in there. This is a fake plant for now, but I've had many different arrangements. And it's so cool because it's an optical illusion. It's basically like a flower painting that you can change whenever you want. Even just changing the orientation of this changes the painting. And actually just now, as I'm talking with you about this, I'm having an idea for like a more elevated version of this that I could do with having the background be a lenticular print, so then if you like move from side to side, different pictures will change. So yes, I did make this. I decided to use these two pictures. One of them is a photo of me taking a photo at this really beautiful lake near our house. And this other photo is of my dear friend Colby, who is just such an upstanding citizen and takes great joy in collecting trash. I talk more about lenticular printing in a previous video that I made that I'll link somewhere on the screen. Basically, you're printing these two images and interlacing them in such a way that when you place this lens on top, it refracts light so that as you move side to side, it exposes just like one image or the other image. The final thing that I'm going to show you that I'm actually grateful for darkness for is our projector setup. You don't see it, but I have sneakily obscured a project. Actually, you can see it. It's there. This is a mirror that I installed to obscure this rather ugly, clunky projector that we use to watch stuff over here. My first idea for hiding this was to use this cross stitch that I had made of Maeve. What it ended up doing, I think, was the equivalent of when you cough really loudly to cover up a fart, but then you mistime it, so you actually just draw attention to it. But this is actually doing a really good job of just not drawing your eye to the projector at all. For the last year, we've been committing the cardinal sin of covering up this beautiful fireplace with our flat screen TV. But finally, we have replaced that with this projector setup. I'm super proud of how I got that up there. Here's some footage of how I figured out how to get this ambient light reflecting screen up there, and also some more of how I installed those lamps so that when the projector is not in use, they can be against the wall. But then when we need to use a projector, we can just swivel them out of the way. So when we're ready to watch something, we just go from this totally clean state and then just have to hit on the Apple TV remote and the screen descends automatically. It's a freaking movie theater, but then when you're done, it just disappears. Bye. And I can go and move my lamps back into place. You know, ever since I was young, I have had a penchant for home decor. This is my childhood bedroom in Nairobi. And like, do I fully stand by my younger self's design decisions? For example, this photosynthesis equation written out with a typo, yes. Pencil sharpening stuck to the wall, absolutely. Mine and my best friend's handprints all over, creating this like murder scene type vibe, 100%. A glittery beady glue paste used to fill in loose wood flooring, practical and pretty. And random squiggles in nail polish on mirrors and mahogany and oak built-ins. Despite the blow to the home value, I support. And while it's not for me to determine whether my design taste has matured in the last 2 decades, I can say that now I don't act on every single impulse immediately. I only do it for like 80%. This year, I'm planning to make a whole bunch of videos about the things that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, but I'm also gonna document as I take on more exciting projects, including finishing the kitchen with some lovely olive green Zalige tiles, transforming the basement into a place that we actually want to go. I'm going to continue doing things that I've never done before with peak delusional confidence. So I hope you consider subscribing and following along.